Hey friends, Jeff here with RV Optimizer, and today on this edition of Park Talk, I'm going to ask RV owners about raves or regrets with what they purchased. I'm going to ask them 5 questions. What do they own? How long have they owned it? What do they like most? What do they like least? And would they buy it again? And I'm going to talk to all kinds of different owners from B class right on up to A class. My goal here is that I hope what we learn from these RV owners help you optimize the way you think about perhaps that next RV that you purchase. Let's go check out what the folks have to say. All right, friends, I found another friend here, Brent, who's going to talk to us about what he bought and if he would recommend it to you as well. So, Brent, thanks for joining the channel. Tell everybody a little bit about what you got and how long you've had it.
I got a 2024 Winnebago View. We bought it in June. Drove it across the country from Ohio to Colorado where we live, and for the most part I like it a lot, but it has a lot of systems. So
it does.
There's a big learning curve there.
They tend to be complicated. So I guess I would ask you, so far, what's the one thing you like the most about it, and what's the one thing that you would like to change if you could?
The thing I like most about it is the size, because it's not that big. It's 25 feet long. It's easy to get almost anywhere. Even noticing today, places we went today, couldn't have got to a bus in there, for instance, at Prevost or something.
Yep.
So I like that the best. I really like the Mercedes chassis, although it's very complicated. The control panel and all that, the menus and the electronics is very difficult to understand, but it is informative. So
there's definitely a little learning curve.
There's definitely a learning curve.
Absolutely. So is there any one thing that stands out that you would say, man, if I could change this so far, I would?
Well, the one thing that I did do to this was I added some Fox Pro shocks, which are modified semi-tractor trailer shocks, and a Hellwig sway bar, and that improved the handling of this thing by, I'd say, 400%. Easy.
These things tend to like to rock a lot.
Especially after coming across the country east to west, having these new shocks and that heavier sway bar, huge difference in the handling. So anybody gets one of these, do that first. It's not that big of a cost, and well worth it. Well worth every dollar.
So I'm curious, did you look at any other ones and compare to this one before you got it, or did you kind of hone in on this Winnebago?
I guess I pretty much followed my wife's lead, because she's retired, so she's got time to research and everything, and I don't, because I still have a job. So
well, that sounds like a safe bet.
Wink, wink.
Awesome. All right, so my last question for you.
Yes.
And I know it's fairly new for you yet, but if anybody else is looking at this particular model, would it come with your recommendation? Would you buy it again?
Oh yeah, I think I would.
Okay.
I like this camper a lot. Still need to learn more about it, but especially with the suspension upgrade, I've enjoyed it very much. So, and I'm in Colorado. I've driven over, I don't even know, 5, 10, or 11,000 foot passes already, and it's done just fine. So, like it quite a bit.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you very much for sharing your advice with others.
No problem.
And yeah, we'll keep moving on. And so let's talk to another couple who has an RV, and I want to ask a couple questions about their experience. So I met my friend Carl here. Carl.
Hello, Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
And I wanted to ask the question first. Carlos, tell us what you have and how long you've had it.
Well, we got the 18-foot Ram Integra Arc. It's an 18-footer. And we've had it for maybe couple of months, maybe 2 months now.
So fairly new.
Yes. It's got low 2,000 miles when we got it.
Awesome.
It's got about 3,500 now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I guess one of the main questions is, now that it's fairly new with you, but so far, if anybody looking at this kind based on your experience so far, would you recommend they get one of these?
I think if you're going to be a city, if you want to get around town, this would be the perfect vehicle to do it in. I mean, being an 18-footer, you don't have to worry about HOA having an issue with the HOAs. You can park it right in your driveway, 22-foot driveway, and that's what we're doing. And we zip around town wherever we go. We come up here to Sedona, and we're shopping at the local grocery and back and forth all day. So that aspect is it's amazingly convenient.
So if you had to say the one thing you really like and the one thing maybe you don't like,
I would probably prefer to have maybe a little more room in it, but definitely more power in the drivetrain. So I would probably look for a small diesel or a little V6 turbo in this particular vehicle. That would be the perfect match.
Got it. And the favorite thing so far?
A favorite thing is that, again, that we could zip around town.
Yeah.
The wet bath is amazingly big. It's got the ProMaster Ram 1500 chassis, which a lot of their vehicles have a shower in the back, the wet bath in the back, and plenty of room if you're using the shower, if you have to close the door, but you also have the option to open the rear shower.
Because you're on the back.
And then take your shower along the handle and shower with curtains.
Beautiful.
So that's a really nice feature. The bed is also amazingly big for this small vehicle. It's got a 54, 72-inch bed, which is amazingly big for a small vehicle like this.
It is.
So yeah.
All right.
We're pretty pleased with it for now.
So far, 2 thumbs up on the Integra.
2 thumbs up, yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, guys. All right, so here we are. We have our next interview lined up here. I found Daryl.
We have it's a Cherokee Wolf made by Forest River, 2021. Had it for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's what they typically call a couples trailer. And we love it. It's just the 2 of us and our dog, and it's got plenty of room for us.
Beautiful.
You know,
so you've owned it for how long?
about 3 years.
About 3 years. Yeah. And if somebody else was looking at this particular one, would you be thumbs up or thumbs down on recommending it? If you were going to buy one again, would you buy it, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I'd buy it again.
Okay.
You know, there might be some things I'd add to it, but as far as the unit itself, it's a great unit. It's been very dependable. You know, we don't take out a lot, but when we do, this is a long trip. We came in from California.
Okay.
So it was an 8-hour trip coming in, and it trailered great, and it sets up nice.
Nice.
So we haven't had any problems with it.
So my last 2 questions, the thing you like the most about it and the thing you like the least about it.
Probably the most is it's got a very kind of an upscale living area. You know, it's not the fanciest.
Feels homey inside.
Yeah, very
Yep.
homey.
Very pretty inside.
Yeah.
And very cozy. You know, it's got your pantry,
It has
you've
a
got
fireplace.
a little fireplace, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and the worst thing about it,
I can't find anything like that.
I guess the only thing I can complain about right now is my rear camera. I can't get it to work. So that's about it, really, because I haven't had any problems
Well,
with it.
then you're doing awesome, I think, because you're ahead of the curve. Because just about anybody who owns an RV, you got to be a little handy because there's always a little something.
Well, and that's
right?
what I do. I work on it all the time. I do all my own maintenance and stuff.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your information with us and allow me to bug you while you're
yeah,
just
no.
chilling.
what you guys
Our next interview here, I found Tom. Tom, I'll let you tell us a little bit about what you have and how long you had it.
We've had this for about a week and a half. It's a 2021 Airstream 25FB, like front bedroom, I think that stands for. But we've just had, the only issue we've had with it so far is the refrigerator wouldn't get cool. It took about 24 hours for it to get cool.
But you found out it finally did.
Finally did get cool. I ordered a part just in case. It's coming Monday from Amazon. And then we were out today and it started getting windy. And I figured I better bring the awning in because it doesn't have a wind sensor on it. And it's got the electric awning on this model. And it won't go back in. So I started looking at the manual and I noticed that there's a kit for it because it happens so frequent, I guess, on these Airstreams. And now I'm using this jumper wire, plugging it into a 12-volt battery and
trying to figure it out. So I know it's early, but if there was one thing you would say you love on it so far, what would that one thing be?
Oh man, I love the rear hatch.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, we got the rear hatch on this one.
Makes it feel pretty open.
That doesn't have much of a view right now because you're looking at a fence, but it's pretty cool. It's got the screen on the back. Other than that, it's got the queen bed instead of the twin beds. And other than that, everything else is pretty cool. We had it lifted 3 inches right when we bought it.
So is there one thing that, I guess I could probably even answer that for you, the one thing you don't like so far would be this awning.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. it looks like it's quite complicated to get it back in. There's like 3 different motors. There's an awning motor, which is on the barrel, and then there's a separate motor for each one of these rods that come out.
So you were telling me earlier that you've actually had an A-Class and other trailers before the Airstream.
Yeah, we had a Class A Berkshire 40-footer. We've had a Winnebago View, like a 24-footer, and we've had a Lance before that, and a Super C.
And
so,
be comparing this to the other ones so far, I mean, I know it's very different.
They're very different, but we've always wanted the Airstream.
Yeah.
So it's just, they think they look cool.
Yeah.
They're a little heavy to tow, but other than that, I think it's going to last longer. After we figure out the awning issue, I think other than that, everything's so well built. So we're pretty impressed.
Yeah, and they should be, right? Because you're paying premium.
Yeah,
for
we're paying a lot for it.
And hopefully it's not just the name.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I don't think so. We've read a lot of reviews on it. So, I mean, they could put some higher end stuff in it, like maybe a better refrigerator instead of get rid of the Dometic. Maybe put like a Norcold. But other than that, like everything's pretty well built.
Yeah.
Like,
no, they're very cool.
Yeah.
And they're modern feeling.
Yeah,
right?
feels modern. It feels like you can keep it for 10 years and you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
You could probably sell it.
Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts with everybody. And we appreciate you allowing us to.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, up next, I found my buddy Dutch here. And Dutch, I'd love for you to tell everybody what you own and how long you've had it.
Okay, so this is a 2021 Tiffin Phaeton 44OH. So it's the longest or the largest of the motorhomes. We bought this new in November of 20, and we've had it since. It was a COVID coach.
Okay.
We named her Rona.
Okay.
And because we had a lot of issues with it when we got it.
So before we jump into the issues,
sure.
Tell me one thing that you really do like about it.
We love the floor plan because we full-time.
Okay.
We've been full-time since we got this coach, and we like the floor plan because it's roomy. We had a 40-foot, but it only had the 1 bath, and when the wife said she wanted to go full-time, she said, if we go full-time, I want the bath and a half, the extra bath.
There you go.
So the floor plan with the extra half bath is awesome.
Nice.
We really like it.
And not too intimidating to drive something this size?
No, not at all. My wife drives. Vivian, she drives pretty much just about as much as I do.
Okay, well, very cool.
Yeah, when we travel, we do about an hour and a half. We switch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that works out. So, now, maybe that regret or the thing that you don't like about it.
You know, I can't say it's Tiffin. I think it's the RV industry in a whole.
Yeah.
Coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
You know, we knew there were supply chain issues, people having or manufacturers having trouble getting parts. And, but they were still pumping them out the door, and they were putting whatever parts they could to get in them just so they could keep selling them. And unfortunately, the consumers are the ones that are absorbing it.
Yeah.
You know, we've had our share. Red Bay has a great service center, the Tiffin Service Center in Red Bay, Alabama. But I've had to go there 7 times. Not because of cosmetic stuff, but mechanical issues.
With the coach, not
the
with,
coach.
Yeah.
Not the chassis. The chassis has been great.
Yeah.
The engine, all that's been fine. It's just everything from slide out issues to you name it. Awning issues, aqua-hot quit work. I mean, it just goes and goes. But I can say that this last year, we've wrung out all the bugs, and we've had a very successful trip. We left in March, right at Memorial Weekend.
Okay.
We went up from New Mexico, we went up to Colorado, over into western Wyoming, over to eastern Wyoming, then we went over to South Dakota, went all the way up across Montana, across the northern, up to the glaciers, National Park, and we came down through Idaho, Utah, and then down here we worked our way to Flagstaff.
Yep.
And so this trip we've had 22 stops.
Wow.
that we planned and made plans for. 22 different sites.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 to go.
Okay.
We're finishing up this year at the Balloon Fest in Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque, got it. And
so we've been doing great.
No issues so far on this trip.
Well, I had one. I had a tire that blew out.
Got it.
And that happened on Memorial Weekend, and trying to find a tire was not fun.
Yeah, I bet.
But other than that, it's been a great trip.
So maybe there's something to working through all those initial issues.
You have to be patient.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
And you have to be mechanically inclined, I think, too.
You do, and you know, you've got to have a little toolkit.
Yep.
Because you're always tightening doors and things like that. And I've got some basic tools that I thought I would need, and so far I've never run into an issue that I couldn't fix. But you got to have some kind of be able to turn a screwdriver.
Yeah, no doubt. So my last question for you,
Sure.
Dutch. Would you buy this one again?
Every time I get aggravated with it, I want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I probably would have moved on.
Yeah.
Because I hate to say it, but Tiffin's quality is not there. And I almost bought twice, but the only reason I didn't buy was because of interest rates. And plus the skyrocket market prices on these things. They've gone off the charts. They're ridiculous.
They have, and they're just kind of starting to come back down.
I had a 2018 Tiffin, and I had that Tiffin for 2 years and never had a problem with it, nothing. Never even had to go to Alabama. It was a great built quality coach. So I think the name of Tiffin over the years has been there.
Yeah.
And they do stand behind their product, or they did. But since COVID, you know, they're just, I don't think they've ever really recovered from it. I mean, you go out to the forums today and you'll see owners at brand new spanking RVs with wires that weren't connected, something didn't want to work.
Yeah.
It just, you know,
Just
it's
seem like
ridiculous.
rushed out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No doubt.
Their quality, everybody keeps wanting to know where their quality control is. And
Yeah.
I don't
think
know
that
if they
could
got
be
it.
said for more than just Tiffin.
Well, you know, and then everybody wants to say that Thor did it. And
Right.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I believe Thor came in and helped Bob Tiffin recover through, or keep selling or working coaches through COVID, or producing them. So I don't blame Tiffin for that. I don't blame Thor. I think Tiffin has some great folks that work there. And if you've ever been to Red Bay, Alabama, it's a very small community. And Tiffin is their livelihood for a lot of those folks. Well, when they shut the plant down, those people got to find jobs. They got to work. So they left. Well, when they ramped back up, they lost their talent.
Yeah.
And they hired whatever they could, and it shows.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of guys working on these things that probably shouldn't even be flipping burgers in McDonald's. But
I
that's
hear
just my take on it.
Nope, I'm with you, and that's why we're doing this and walk around and getting the takes of RV owners.
I'm really trying to stay loyal to Tiffin, but these days it's kind of hard.
I understand. I totally do. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with everybody.
No problem.
Thanks, Dutch.
You bet.